Hey folks, today we're going to continue talking about exponential functions. We briefly discussed it today in class, and I just wanted to do a follow-up video with a couple example problems to help you with your practice problems this weekend. So today in class, we talked about the general standard formula for a exponential function is f of x. Remember, that's just the notation for a function. Don't get freaked out by that. It's just f of x, which can be replaced by y equals a times b to the x power, where a is going to be our initial amount. We're going to get that from the y-intercept. B is our constant ratio or our rate of change, and that's going to be raised to the x power. So all the functions that we're going to do are going to take this form. It's going to be one number times another number, and that second number is raised to the power of x. Our job is to find out what those two numbers are. So we're going to be able to look at a table of data or a graph and determine the function rule. This is the function rule, the equation. Again, we're just looking for a and b. So we need to figure out the y-intercept of our table of data or graph, and that's going to be a, and our rate of change, how the graph is either going up or going down, how much is it going up or down by, and that's going to be b. So we're just figuring that out, filling it in for a and b. So two steps. We're going to start with our graph, a graph. So again, up until this point, I've given you a formula and you've created a table and then a graph. Now I'm going to give you the graph or the table of data, and you are going to give me the equation. And it sounds difficult, but it's pretty straightforward. There's just, again, those two things we need to figure out. So we are looking for f of x equals a times b to the x. So if you need to pause this and write this equation down, or you can just look at it however you want. So a, the initial amount, that's just our y-intercept. And our y-intercept is where our line crosses the y-axis. And it's always going to be given as 0, 16, because 0 is on our x. So it's up here. And then where is it on our y-intercept? It's up at 16. So right off the bat, I know that a equals 16. And I'm going to plug that in at the end. To find the next part, b, I'm looking for my rate of change. So I'm looking at my y values, and I'm trying to figure out what relationship they have with each other. And I'm using multiplication to show that relationship. So how did I jump from 16 to 8? What number can I multiply by to get from 16 to 8? Now, you may be thinking this is division. Yes, I can divide by 2. 8 is half of 16. But I want it to be in the form of multiplication. And then today in class, we talked about dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. And sure enough, that is going to be the same relationship between 8 and 4. 4 is half of 8. So my relationship there, my rate of change is multiplying by 1/2. And the same is true from 4 to 2 and 2 to 1. Again, I'm looking at those y values and I'm determining the relationship using multiplication. And that relationship is multiplying by 1/2. That number that I'm multiplying by is going to be our b. And now we have all the pieces we need to fill in this f of x equation. F of x, instead of a, I'm going to plug in 16. And instead of b, I'm going to plug in 1/2. I'm going to put in parentheses just to make it look nice. And I'm going to raise it to the x power. And that's it. That is my equation that represents this graph. 16 is my y-intercept. 1/2 is the rate of change between all of these points, specifically the y points. Another example problem, then we're done. Now I have a table of values. I could put these values onto a graph and do what I just did, but I'm going to save myself the time because I can pull the key information just from this table. Again, we're looking for f of x equals a times b to the x. What is a? The first number is our initial amount, and that's going to be our y-intercept. Now, it's going to be a little more difficult to pull out the y-intercept here because I don't see a graph, I don't see the y-axis. But I do know that wherever x is 0, that is going to be my y-intercept. So this point right here is the y-intercept. Because it lies on 0 on the x-axis, so it's going to go straight up to 4, and that is where it's crossing my y-intercept. All my y-intercepts are going to be given this point 0, 4. So I'm just looking for where x is 0, and that's going to give me my y-intercept. So my a is going to be 4. Now, b is our rate of change. So I'm looking at my y's, and I'm trying to figure out how much they jump up by. Well, and I'm using multiplication. What number do I have to multiply 4 by to get to 12? I know that that number is 3. And let's see if it rings true for the next one. 12 times 3 is also 36, and on and on. So we found our rate of change is multiplying by 3. That 3 is going to be our value for b, and we're done. We've got everything we need. Let's just fill it in. F of x equals a is 4 times b, in this case 3 to the x power. Again, here's my y-intercept, here's my rate of change. This is the formula, this is the equation that represents this table of values here. And that's it. That's what we're going to be doing for this weekend's homework, which will be posted. Thanks for watching. Bye.